Okay, I think we are just 5 minutes before the time. Maybe it would be a good time to start off with just introduction of the personnel behind the two different teams. So maybe I would like to start with welcoming everyone to the official signing ceremony of the Memorandum of Understanding between Global Emerging Radio Astronomy Foundation and the Center for Basic Space Science, which is an activity center of the National Space Research and Development Agency. So what I would just request is that we spend the next 4 minutes in introducing people from the two groups. We would like the Center for Basic Space Sciences to go first. So I'll hand over to the director, Dr. Bonaventure Okere. Dr. Okere, please. You are actually muted. Please unmute yourself. You are muted. If you can hear me, you are muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Okay, I've done that right now. Okay. Thank you, welcome. Thank you, James, for kicking off. And thank you, Gordon, Ross, for being here. On my side here, you have my very self, the director of the Center for Basic Space Science and Astronomy in Nsukka. By name, Bonaventure Okere. With me here is the head of science, the center.
Dr. Chujeku Ofot, the head of science, Center for Basic Space Science.
Yeah,
working under Bonaventure Okere.
Okay. We have the man in charge of collaborations at our center here. Yeah, George Obasi. He is in charge of collaborations. And we have the engineering team here at the center, the chief engineer here, Daniel Lanre, is the chief engineer. We have another engineer, he just returned from UK, engineer Dr. Nasiru Aliu. So these are the team we have here present at this meeting. Some may join online to listen to this program. So thank you very much and welcome. So let me have your team, James.
Okay, thank you very much. Ross, do you want to go first with an introduction?
Sure. My name is Ross Burns. I'm an astronomer currently working in the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan. I've been involved in several projects through DARA, and me and James have visited the telescope in Ghana before. And one of the things I was working with was including this, the Ghana dish into the European VLBI network. So these kinds of activities in radio astronomy in Africa has been something I've always been very interested in. So I'm very happy to be here and thank you for your time.
Gordon?
Hi all, thanks for inviting us to this. It's an interesting project, it's a great project and I really am keen and excited to help out. I've been to Nigeria, I've been to Nsukka, I've been to Ghana, thankfully, and a number of other places. I'm presently working on a project in Tanzania, in fact, at the moment myself, and that's part of what got me excited about what James and Ross have started putting together here, and that's why we're doing this. So I'm looking forward to working with you guys as well as best I can to make this thing a great success for all of us and yourselves especially. Thanks.
Okay, good. I think you all already know me. My name is James Chibueze. I teach at the Center for Space Research.
I don't know you.
In Northwest University. I've been involved in radio astronomy development extensively in Africa, and we decided we have to put together a way to get low cost through the telescope to as many universities and many institutions as possible to sow the seed of radio astronomy. And with that, we came together to start up GERA, which you'll hear more about very soon. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the footage of this project and this MOU. And I thank you all for at least working with us to get to the point we are now. And look forward to more support from you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, while we are still introducing the head of astronomy here, just walked in. Dr. Obi Anthony just walked in here to be with us too. The head of astronomy, and say him. Hi everyone.
Hi, okay.
Okay, so just can keep the ball rolling.
Okay, good. So I guess it would be nice to hear from the two sides after we've completed the introduction. Hear a bit of a background of GERAF, and then a bit of background of CBSS. And then we have a look at the content of the MOU, what are the terms that both parties need to follow. And then not in details, because the details are written in the MOU, which we have, the two parties have read in details and commented on. But maybe we start with just introduction of GERAF, and I'll welcome Ross to speak, after which Gordon will go, and then I will speak a bit about the project. And then we will ask the CBSS side to tell us a bit more about what they look forward to in this project and what they do. Ross, please.
Okay, thanks, James. So the kind of main reason why the GERAF Foundation really came about is there seems to be a trend recently where there's a lot of these very big new state-of-the-art facilities and telescopes, and they tend to pull in a lot of the available funding. So this happens at the expense of the smaller facilities, smaller projects. And as a result, something that we're seeing is a lot of these facilities and telescopes are being closed down. This is incredibly unfortunate because a lot of these telescopes are typically the first telescopes that students will use when they enter into radio astronomy. So by losing these facilities, we essentially are at risk of losing the next generation of radio astronomers. This is kind of double unfortunate timing because we've just stumbled across several new fields of transient radio astronomy. So it's kind of a really double problem because we lose not only the next generation of people, but also we're missing out on a lot of science that we could be doing, which we might not be able to do if these facilities close down. Me, James, and Gordon, we work with several astronomers around the world, and it's kind of a repeating story where you're starting to see facilities closing down, or they just don't have the money to do the maintenance that they need to do. It's kind of happening in a lot of places. So the GERAF Foundation kind of came about to find other sources of financial support to keep these facilities alive, keep the next generations of radio astronomers coming, and keep the science coming out of these facilities. So that was kind of the main thing we had in mind. And yeah, we're very happy to be working with you guys and hopefully with many more projects here to come. So I think I'll hand over to Gordon, who's going to mention a bit about the legal side and the framework through which we operate.
Thanks, Ross. Well, effectively, the GERAF Foundation, we actually incorporated it in Canada, where I presently reside. You can see how dark it is here. It's in the U of A, rather in the province of Alberta, but we're incorporated for the country of Canada. Canada's a funny place for legal aspects. The provinces have a certain amount of powers, and the federal government has a different set of powers. It's very strange. But anyways, it's registered in Canada, and we did that on the 26th of August. So we're very new, just so you know, we're very new. We're a nonprofit organization. It's not our goal to make profits, and any profits we do make, we're going to reinvest into the projects that we have. So that is our long-term goals. And what I want to talk about really just for a moment is how we're going to do that. How are we going to generate incomes that can assist all of us in these interesting projects? The easiest thing to do is crowdsourcing. It's the easiest, but it's the hardest. It's oxymoronic, but it is. It's very easy to launch a crowdsource funding page on GoFundMe and there's a whole host of them, really. And they really are only successful when all of us use our networks of people to get involved and to basically get the word out. The other ways is, of course, to go to corporations. And there's a large number of corporations out there that have a lot of community funding, which they're willing to put forward to projects such as this really interesting one in Nigeria. So that's the sort of thing that we're going to do. And of course, strategically, we're going to partner with groups of people that we can all work together and assist. So for example, the IAU, which is everybody knows about here, they have a program where they have development of astronomy. They have developmental offices around the world. So we will obviously try to partner with them as best we can, of course. And likewise, there's other things. So legally, we are, as I said, we're a nonprofit. We cannot give certificates of taxation. We would have to become a charity. That's a bit more of a next step sort of thing for us, which we will do in due course, okay? But in the short term, we're very young. Our goal is first to raise money from crowdsourcing and basically through pages like GoFundMe, but also through corporate donation and whatnot. And then on top of which, we want to find interested parties willing to give either their time or equipment that can also assist. So for instance, you may want receivers. Maybe some of our friends at observatories around the world have receivers. And so my model really is big boiler steel. So my goal is to find a way to get you whatever you need. So, and that's where we sit in that aspect. So legally, I'm the person that's probably going to break the law first. And I'll try not to. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Gordon. I'll speak to the projects that we've got as GERAF, and maybe one way to do that is to share screen and just show you a couple of projects that we are currently embarking on. So our strategy is to have each one of us who are directors of GERAF, GERAF Foundation, take up one project. And the first one I will introduce you to is the Kilimanjaro project, which you see on the shared screen. The aim of this project is to put a millimeter radio telescope on top of Kilimanjaro. Of course, you can see the image on the left-hand side showing you different observatories and their location above sea level in terms of height. And Kilimanjaro is high enough and should be, well, not just should be, is good enough for millimeter astronomy. So GERAF Foundation's contribution to this will be more of doing a site testing, climbing to determine the routes through which we can pick up the telescope, and Gordon will be managing this. The second project, which is what has brought all of us together today, is the construction of a 3.7 meter radio telescope in Nigeria. This is done in collaboration with the Center for Basic Space Sciences, and the building of the telescope will be done by Quam Electronics in the UK. And we hope to source the funds through crowdfunding using GoFundMe or any other platform. And of course, a fraction of the money will be contributed by the Center for Basic Space Sciences. Details of this is contained in the MOU, which outlines how the instrument will be managed and maintained and who has the responsibility to do those. The third one has both a good story side and a bad story side. I'm sure Bonaventure and Ike will be surprised to hear that Nobayama 45 meter radio telescope is closing down. In a couple of years, they hope to decommission it. But before decommissioning it, the telescope will get into a phase where if you want to do your science with this instrument, you have to pay for the time. So GERAF has taken it up as one of our projects to source funds to buy telescope time to use and do very good science that can be done with single dish, like monitoring observations or high sensitivity observation of molecular lines at high frequencies. So before this instrument is shut down, we hope to have raised enough funds to buy up a lot of time on this instrument and probably, if possible, acquire it in the future. So these are 3 of the projects we are currently working on. And of course, the focus for today is this, for which we will source the fund through crowd source funding and of course a contribution from CBSS. As soon as, well, one of the conditions, as soon as we raise the fund and pay the company 12 weeks from that date, the telescope will be shipped, fully integrated telescope will be shipped to Nigeria and hopefully arrive after another 1 month, and the installation will begin, which should take a week or 2. And then we should be ready to start observing and teaching students with the telescope. I will stop there and hand over to Dr. Bonaventure Kere to speak a bit more about CBSS. You are muted again.
Thank you, James, for this. I'm happy this day has come. It's moving so fast, and I pray we'll keep on moving as fast as we're moving right now. I just want to, I'm happy that Gordon has been to Nigeria. He knows a bit about Nigeria, and James was once with us here. So Ross, I want to just expose to you a little bit about Center for Basic Space Science and Astronomy in Nsukka. The Center for Basic Space Science and Astronomy located at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, though it has its own main office some few kilometers away from the university. So we share a common understanding with the university. It was established in 2003 as an activity center of the National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDA, located at Abuja. The Center for Basic Space Science, CBSS in short, is mandated by NASDA through the, as part of national policy on space science, to actually concentrate on astronomy research and other lower atmosphere research. That's why it is the Center for Basic Space and Astronomy. But recently, the main focus is on astronomy research, because the center has established another outlet that focuses on atmospheric science research. So our focus now is to develop both manpower, instrument in astronomy research. Now here, CBSA have always had an ambitious ideas about astronomy research. There was a time we wanted to build a bigger relay telescope, like 25-meter relay telescope, but funding actually hampered the progress of that work. We have also been making some effort in setting up some instruments for research, especially in optical as well. We have some little optical telescope, have a telescope for solar studies, 2 of them, with a CCD camera mounted on them. Though we are yet to start using them for frontline research. But recently, with the help of the engineering team here, the 2 telescopes now are ready for use. We are waiting for the weather to a little bit improve, because in Nigeria, we have not much wider window for optical astronomy. Now, we haven't acquired those ones. We have experimented on building some dishes by ourselves. But we have assembled a 3-meter mesh radio telescope here to experiment on how to use it to control and do some research. We have also constructed some locally made 6-meter dish. I'm sorry, I couldn't have the picture. I'll actually show you. This time I'll send you some pictures of the things we are doing here. But those are just crude things we are doing to see whether we can remain focused in astronomy research. It has not been an easy journey for us. We are focused on it, and we're determined to get there. So when this idea of this 3.7-meter telescope comes from James through GERAF, we became very interested. Yesterday, we had a brief meeting with the astronomy community at the University of Nigeria in Nsukka. We briefed them about this project. They are good enough. They also, a good number of them also are participating in this meeting today. So we have agreed with them. We have a site. We had a 10-meter telescope that was installed in Nigeria some time ago, but was vandalized. That shows you are making effort to get astronomy research on the move in Nigeria. So here too, even some feed-home telescope and other type of telescope been constructing here, but none has actually been deployed for frontline research. We know that 3.7-meter telescope will also help us in our quest to actually help develop astronomy in Nigeria, even West Africa sub-region. It will be good for education, maybe some basic research we can also do.
Okay, good. So the 2 sides have confirmed acceptance to the role outlined in the MOU. I think it's time for us to go ahead and sign our parts in this MOU document. and display to the camera the signed part. So which one?
All right. So we can go ahead now.
Yes, go ahead and sign, please.
That's my pen. Okay. I have to sign. Ready, George? Your son and collaboration.
Yeah.
I think we all got an A.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Wow. Okay, George. Good job. Sign here and put it there. Yeah, so this is our